Welcome to Signature Required. It is intended for Tennesseans by Tennesseans.
What makes them tick? What lights their fire?
We're pulling forward people that, unless you listen to this interview, you might not know a thing about them. The heart of a Tennessean, the volunteer state, is serve, and we do so largely without self-promotion.
And these are genuine people that get up every day and want to make art, or want to educate the nations, or want to have a heart of love in a way that makes a difference.
Learn from 50 years of experience, take a nugget away, and then go share it with a friend. Rachel Guymon, welcome to Signature Required.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
You are the director of special events for the Tennessee Titans, and you basically have like a couple million square feet behind us here, filming in the Tennessee Titans Stadium. That's kind of your playground. I mean, that's an amazing job opportunity, job description that you get to just play here every day for any number of different things that come your way.
It is. There's always something different happening in this building. That's for sure. My office is here, so that's a cool wow factor moment. Pulling up to work every day, right? But we do cool things and things that people don't know about either. They're not necessarily always public. So a lot going on here.
I think that's probably a big misconception that people have about the Titans, the stadium, is they think, okay, well, there's 8 regular season games and a couple preseason games, and maybe there's a concert or 2 a year. And so they might say, okay, out of 365 days, this place is busy 12 days a year. So help correct that misconception, because I know that this place does not pay for itself 12 days a year.
Yeah, I will say the team that I help lead, it focuses on all those other days. So we try to activate and be busy 365. We are an open venue. We like to do unique things, whether that is, a small 30-person meeting in our press box to a large, actually a couple weeks ago, we had a 4,000 person private event out on the field and in various locations throughout the building. So we kind of do a little bit of all of it. No event is too small. No private event is too big. There's lots of corporate groups that have, masses across the country. And a lot of times they're meeting in Nashville because they have a national conference or something like that. And we help kind of fill that void of something unique and different and local to the state and to this area. So.
What would you guess? Do you think you do something 100 days out of 365? Like some activity of some level? What would be your guess out of 365?
Yeah, I'd say, we have a couple different departments that focus on different types of events too. So if you're adding in some internal events and some, community events and things like that, there's some other departments that focus solely on those. I would say we're up there in the almost, 300 of the 365.
Okay.
There's always something going on. But the department that I sit in specifically focuses on those third party, corporate groups, someone that can come rent some space within this building. I'd say we're closer to about 100 of those. Give or take. Some months are crazy busy, some are a little slower. It ebbs and flows a little bit too with our major event schedule because, we have a concert season per se, right? So in the summer, we're really, really busy with our major events. So we're a little bit lighter on our private events. And then vice versa, spring is we don't have football in this building, a little bit more sparse on the concert side. So we actually have a ton of private events in the spring. So sometimes the volume and what we're doing at least per month is based a little bit on scheduling. But a lot of times the dates are driven by the corporate group that, maybe their annual conference is always in May. They're going to pick a May date, right? Within this building for us. So it's something new and different every day, which is what makes it exciting and fun and just different, right? Like no 2 days are the same. Coming to work is fun. The new building I'm very excited about is we have a roof. So
you got 2.2 billion reasons to be excited about it too.
Exactly. So, at least on the special event side, we are the most excited about having a roof and climate controlled interior bowl. We're going to be able to do a lot more events out on the field, and not that we can't do them now. It just comes with, maybe a day like today where it's a little bit chilly outside, and then that impacts a guest experience, whether we can help it or not. And I think we'll just have a little bit less of those, unexpected elements, truly elements outside that I'm excited about in the new building.
So your role, how long have you served your role? How long has your department been a department? Walk me through just some of those pieces for you personally.
Yeah, absolutely. I have been here. I'm going on my 10th football season with the Titans. So this upcoming season will be 10, which is wild to say.
I like how you counted in football seasons rather than people like
that's
10
funny
years.
because of years.
It is weird because you're coming up on like 9 years of working, but you count it in football seasons, or a football team, right? So yes, I'm coming up on my 10th season. We did kind of sparse events here and there before I got here. We had a smaller staff when I got here, so it was kind of, if you happen to get to the right person, they happen to say maybe we're available. And it's not that we didn't do events; there just wasn't a formal department or focus on bringing some of those elements in.
That's
So I was
kinda
hired
wild.
back in the day to kind of help start that up. It's not to say we didn't do them; we just didn't necessarily have like this robust like focus on it. So yeah, about 10 years ago, I was hired to do that, to create something that, there was maybe a little bit of a gap to fill, and how can we get people into this building and get them excited about doing something different. And hopefully what we're doing on the special event side is maybe it's people that either aren't football fans, or maybe they're not even from Nashville, they're in town for a conference, something like that. Hopefully we get them in this building when maybe they have never been to an NFL stadium. They have a great experience, and ultimately maybe they turn into Titans fans because of that, right? Like we're their first look at an NFL team or an NFL stadium or something like that. So that's the ultimate goal, is we're bringing people in, creating awesome memories, having them have a great experience, and then maybe turning them into a season ticket holder down the road. I will say that's happened at some of our events. We've ended the night and they've said, "Can you get me a contact with your ticket office? I want to become a season ticket holder."
That's
so
awesome.
that was a win. I will say that's happened a few times.
It was such a war to get the Titans here to begin with. So I'm born and raised here. I was here on opening day when it
Love
first
that.
opened, and I've seen the battle that it took to get them here to begin with, because there was a big debate of what it would benefit or not benefit Nashville, the state, what the tax implications
Sure.
would be, the economic, everybody's forecasting what they think it's going to be. But at the end of the day, you have some stories of success when an NFL team comes to a city, and other times where it's not successful at all.
Mhm.
And I think the jury has fully settled on this one to say the Titans have been an enormous economic driver for the state. And I think people's default is probably for Nashville. But can you help drive some distinction that we're the Tennessee Titans rather than there's a lot of other cities that have the team named after them?
Right.
The Atlanta Falcons, the Seattle Seahawks, the San Francisco 49ers.
The
So,
Nashville Predators.
yeah, it's interesting. So talk about the Tennessee aspect to what you do.
Yeah, I think that's a big goal internally of our team, is making sure we are the Tennessee Titans. We represent the state. We represent people all over the state, and not just Nashville. Like, yes, our headquarters is Nashville. Yes, our home stadium is Nashville, and we love the Nashville flair, but like that extends across the state, right? There's not just country music in Nashville. There's not just Southern hospitality in Nashville. That is across Tennessee. So I would say that we try really hard to lean into that ahead of season and throughout the year. We do road shows throughout the state with our marketing team and players, and really trying to make sure that we go to the people. We don't always ask people to come to us. So I think our team does a really good job about that, leaning into Tennessee. We are the Tennessee Titans. We're not the Nashville Titans. We love Nashville, right? But yeah, it's bigger than just that.
Yeah, because I think the NFL also took a big gamble in bringing the Titans here to Nashville. I mean, honestly, Nashville had no business having a professional team at the time that they came here.
And you probably have a great perspective there. It was before I moved here, right? So like born and raised, I'm sure you have a great perspective on that.
It's a really small market. And I think it's also, when you look geographically at Tennessee, there's no professional team in Kentucky. There's no professional team in Alabama. There's questions of like, okay, we're actually drawing a meaningful fan base. Both Kentucky and Alabama, big football states, like clearly SEC care about football. And then obviously you have Tennessee, and we do pull a lot of events, it seems like, fan base, everything from the surrounding states that help make this place worth it. And I think that's also part of the real narrative behind $2.2 billion for the new stadium, is to say it's it's kind of like rolling back the clock a couple decades to say, hey, the Titans proved to be great stewards of the investment of the state and of the tax dollars. And, welcome to inflation. We can't build this place. Even if we wanted to build this thing again, we couldn't build it.
Same, sure.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the same. And so, for the investment, talk a little bit about the new stadium because, we're here at the old stadium filming. The construction noise is going behind us for the new stadium. So when everyone's talking to you about, okay, what should we expect? But maybe they haven't had the chance to, get the overview. What should we look forward to in this new stadium, and when is it going to be done?
Yeah, so looking forward to early 2027 opening. And that is definitely something we are aiming for and excited for in terms of event, rollout and bookings and all the things. I think the unique thing and kind of difference about the new stadium is that everything seems to have a little bit of a look and feel and vibe of almost what I would call like more of a speakeasy. Like it's kind of cool, warm blue tones, right? Like we're the two-tone blue, like lean into the Titans a little bit on that in terms of color scheme, but like adding in like the leathers and the kind of the darker, moody vibes for the decor.
Oh, that's cool.
So I think it just every space in the new building is going to just be a totally different elevated experience that no one's necessarily had. But I wouldn't even compare it to this building, right? Like it is a totally different experience. It is a totally different venue. It has way more hospitality spaces, actually less seating. So less seating capacity in the new building, but
it's like 15% less, right? Okay.
Yeah, but you're also closer to the field, so it feels a little more intimate in that way. You're closer to the action.
Yeah, I think I saw it was like 38% closer. Yep. I mean, it's like meaningfully, not like it's 5%. I mean, you're gonna feel it closer.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think the cool thing is, right, we have club spaces in this building, and we activate those on non-game day as well. But way more opportunities in the new building, lots of additional club spaces, lots of cool hospitality areas. I think the cool thing on the private event side too is it's a lot of large space that actually has great connecting points. So lots of escalators, lots of elevators, lots of people movers to get from one area to the next and kind of flow between. So I know I'm the most excited about that because then you can do bigger and more events that way, right? On the private event side. But I think the unique experience there is we're leaning into the local flair, right? That's live music elements, that's local cuisine, that is the cool, kind of like I was mentioning, the decor is the moody, darker, maybe some blue tones, like the leather. The look and feel of this building is going to be a very elevated experience from the time you step in that what we're calling our main front door area into the building.
One thing I love about the Titans, and since I've been with Spence, I mean, our first ever date was a football game.
Love that.
Right.
Same for me and my husband.
Yep. So we've been going to football games. It's like the fabric of our relationship is football, right? And we love so much to bring our kids to Titans games. I am really excited about the weather control because our little guy wilts at preseason. It's just so warm.
Yes.
Yeah. So that will be a huge upgrade.
Well, and Nashville has a true 4 seasons, right? So the beginning of football, it is 100 degrees.
It's blazing.
It is hot. And then by the end of the season, it's freezing, right? It's in the negative temps sometimes.
So. I have pictures from Monday Night Football of us in full ski gear.
Yep.
Yeah. So don't worry.
I believe it.
But is there anything else that you're particularly excited for activating families that maybe say, hey, we're thinking about purchasing tickets. My kids are at an age where we really would like to make this investment in experiential lifestyle with them. But maybe why is it going to be as family friendly in the new stadium? Is it going to be too bougie for kids to come in? What do you think?
I think that's a really good question because I think about the Sounds too, and they have been so intentional at the Sounds Stadium to offer a family experience. And you can go there and literally not watch one pitch and feel like that you got value for your ticket and had a good time. So that I like that. That's a good question.
You're totally correct on that. I have kids as well, so I get it on the family friendly side. I would say, it's not going to be like a playground, right?
Sure.
In the new building or something like that. There's just going to be a ton of different options and elements of, different price points, different levels of the building, different experiences in different parts of the building that here we kind of have a pretty standard fixed opportunity in terms of seating and your experience in the current building. New building, there's a wide range of experiences, whether that is all-inclusive kind of club spaces, whether that is suites, whether that's a standing room only option. There's a lot of unique ways to experience football in the new building. I wouldn't necessarily say I don't have a great answer for you on leaning in on, this perfect family experience or this is not. I don't know either way.
It may be too early, so that's fine. But can you tell us of anybody that's really getting behind this project and gonna push like cool brands or local vendors that you feel really excited about their name being part of this build out?
Yeah, well, we're excited that Nissan is our naming partner again, right, in the new building. So we have Nissan Stadium here, and then we have new Nissan Stadium right across the street. So excited about that. Our partnership team is constantly working on that now to get new partners on board, existing partners coming back, those kind of things. So they're leaning into it. They're definitely working hard.
It's gonna be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you think about the economic impact of what you do, talk a little bit about the job creation that's here, because I think that's another aspect that there's a lot of ways that stadiums across the country think about how they manage a budget. And you can hire people directly, you can outsource it, you can do a lot of different things. So talk a little bit about the community impact from a job creation standpoint that you see.
Sure. So some stadiums across the country have management companies and things like that. We are the Titans managing the Titans Stadium. So that's a cool, not necessarily unique. Other stadiums are like that as well, but
It's unusual.
it's
though.
unusual, but in a great way where then we can put our own spin and our own flair into everything we do. When you're talking through, job opportunities and things like that, right? It takes a lot of people to operate a game day, a lot of people to operate a concert, less on the special event side, right? Because our numbers are less in terms of who's in the building at what time and it's off season. But I do think that creates great opportunities, right? We have our event staff that operates all of our gates, our security staff that operates on game day. We have our housekeeping staff that is literally, if you think through, look behind you, think through how many entrances to all the seats behind, the VOMs to get down to your seats. Someone is standing at all of those, right?
Yeah.
And then you also have roamers throughout the building, and there's actually people in service level that are working behind the scenes that never you don't necessarily even see them on game day. So I agree. There's a lot of job opportunities on game day, concert day, special events as well, and all of those things.
And it's amazing. We walked here from the parking lot and went underneath the stadium. And I feel like that's a part that no one really appreciates, that it's kind of a city under a city of the level of complexity. And so, Carly and I are entrepreneurs and run a logistics business. And so our minds, just when we go into a place like that,
that's what you notice.
That's what
we
we
look
look
at.
Of course.
Yeah,
I'm the same way with
Immediately.
events, right?
Yeah.
I go somewhere else and I'm like thinking through, ooh, okay, that's a cool vendor. I'm gonna have to think through that for our next event. I do the same.
Another stilt walker. Let's put him on speed dial.
Exactly.
yeah, I mean, underneath the stadium, like full-blown 18-wheelers are rolling down there. And you just forget that yes, there's a product on the field, but there is so much mechanical. And I think people have gotten a little bit of feel for that in the construction of the new stadium,
Right.
because
You
it
can
was,
see it. It's
Yeah.
above ground right now, right? Yeah.
that's right. And it was forever before there was anything higher than ground level. Like a huge percentage of the work was stuff that's below ground, and all of the concrete and all the things that go below that. You're used to it now because you've
Right.
been doing it 10 years, but I have to feel like that touring people through that part, even just walking to the locker room, is kind of a cool experience. I mean, is it old hat to you, or is it still like, hey, this is pretty cool?
It's cool. At the end of the day, work in a very cool space, right? I also come here every day. So you do sometimes get desensitized to it, like you said. But that's the nice thing about unique events that come into this building is I'm on site visits all day, every day, talking through potential events or events that are coming through or starting the planning process for events. So I do get the perspective of someone walking in for the first time, seeing this wow factor moment. So it's good that it's a constant reminder of like, no, this is awesome. It's a cool thing that, you get to do it every day.
I do have a question, just my event planner space. If somebody wanted to get married on the 50-yard line, like, I don't know that people realize you can do this. How do they even go about having an event here?
Yeah, it starts with our team, right? So whether that is someone we've met at. Hopefully we're out networking and you know our name to our face anyway, right? Because we're doing our jobs that way. But our website is usually how people can find us in terms of photos and different things that we've done across the years. But there's a submission form, and truly that's where a lot of the conversation starts. Hopefully they've either experienced an event, they want to learn more, or someone told them about some cool experience they had here, and that's why people are thinking about us and unique ways to use the building. But yeah, you absolutely can do that. We have had weddings on the 50. We have had all kinds of life events, a baby shower, all kinds of things like that. So you could definitely do the personal events.
Did the dad throw that baby shower?
I think it was the family.
Yeah,
It's been
that's
a couple
awesome.
of years now, but yeah, we've had groups that'll do, a small ceremony on the field and then do a reception in our club afterwards, or some will just do the reception because they were offsite at a church or something like that. So we've done a handful of weddings. It's probably not our bread and butter, I would say, because a lot of people like getting married in the fall, and our football season is fall, right? So we have
well, if you come from a football family, you're not allowed to get married in the fall. I was expressly told there will be no fall wedding.
I agree with that.
Okay, for nostalgia purposes, let's say somebody grew up with this stadium. They love the Titans. When is the last time they could book some type of event, whatever it is, corporate or personal, in this space?
We probably don't have a perfect this is the date, right? Like this is the deadline. We will be open and fully operational in this building until the new one is up and running as well. So, I mean, obviously that's at least early 2027, right? When new building is opened. But that is what we're excited about, is that we still get to operate and do unique things in this building. But that's also the element of do it now while you can, right? The next couple of years, that's the last time you can host your wedding on the 50, right?
Well, that was a good pivot right there,
like
Rachel. That was good. You went right into sales.
Let's do it.
You put some urgency right there.
So I can't help it.
Don't wait. You never know. We could shut down tomorrow. You don't know. I do hope, Rachel, that when you all do close this place and rig it for demolition and all the rest, I hope that you all do an event to auction off some parts of nostalgia for the stadium. I think it would be a big hit. That may already be in the plan, but just in case it's not, I'll give my sales hat for you here. Is that I think a little chunk of the concrete of the stadium, a part of the field, a part of the signage, a part of the chairs, the seats, to the extent that ownership is willing to break off a little piece of the stadium and give the opportunity and go to a charity, but any number of different things. I think that would be a really special, especially for people like me that, a meaningful part of my childhood was here.
Well, people make memories here. That's the point of what we do, right? Like whether it's football, a concert, a private event that you're hosting, we're in the business of making memories and experiences for people, and that's what people resonate with. So I would venture to say there's some version of that out there that will be in the works and planned and all the things.
Does this mean that there's going to be red stadium chairs somehow affixed to a wall in our home shortly?
Wait, hold on.
Yeah. Where are we putting said nostalgic pieces?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, I got to ask you about T Swift. So you all landed Taylor Swift. Did you get offered more or less than $20,000 as a bribe to be able to get people tickets? Because everyone knows what you do. All of your friend groups.
Oh my gosh,
you had to. Was it more or less than 20,000, Rachel?
There are definitely people excited about being friends with me close to that concert, right?
You know who your real friends are when it's concert season.
Yeah, we had 3 nights of Taylor Swift, and I've never heard something that loud or that. It was wild.
Walk us through
it was cool.
Yeah,
right?
Tell us what went into all that.
Whether you're a Swiftie or not, it was a wildly awesome experience, and I've never seen anything quite like that. I mean, people were lined up around our building for a week ahead just to get merch.
Wow.
Didn't even have tickets to the concert or didn't even, have a thought of coming, right? But they just wanted to be in and around the action.
They're just tents, around the building.
Wow.
Lined up around the building because her merch trailers were set up on kind of the south side outside the building. And people were in line for, I was driving by people in line to get into work throughout the week. It was crazy.
Wow.
It was, but nothing crazy, wild, running all over. And they're all just happy to be together. Very, very nice fans, I think that's what made the experience cool, is everyone was genuinely just happy to be here and wanted to be a part of it. And we were lucky enough to get 3 nights, and it was awesome. We had the epic
I mean,
rain
the
show,
rain,
right?
Oh, yeah.
that was incredible. I
It
mean, she
was-
was just singing in
I
in the
know.
rain.
That
I
was
know.
awesome.
Rachel, one of the cool things that I've seen other stadiums do is like they'll put a hockey rink in the middle of the field, or they'll put a tennis court down, or they'll put a basketball court down. How should we think? What should we look forward to in the new stadium that we might be able to get some stuff that we haven't been able to in the past? A Super Bowl.
I think everyone Super Bowl is on everyone's mind,
Okay,
right?
all
Like
right.
I think excuse me, I think those conversations are on the table because of the new stadium. So we're in a place in Nashville where we have ample hotel rooms that we need to host large things like that. We have awesome, downtown large event spaces with our, Music City Center and those kind of things that we can lean in on. And the biggest part that we hope to be the anchor of is the main location for the main event, right? That is, maybe that's a Super Bowl, maybe that's a Final Four, maybe that is, you're talking about, tennis, something like that is unique in a stadium setting that I would almost lean in on. Like, yes, we are a football stadium. That is always going to be our bread and butter, and we are the Titans, right? But like, it's a venue for events at the end of the day. And the new stadium will only help us get those big ones to Nashville. Big ones on the private event side, like corporate conventions as well. So Nashville is a huge location for meetings across the country. So a lot of people come host at Music City Center or Opryland or something like that. And we might do an opening reception or a closing reception here. I think we have even more opportunity in the new building because we have such large space and covered now. I think sky's the limit on that kind of stuff. So large corporate conventions, we are on the map for all of those things. They plan 5 to 7 years out. So we're already in conversations.
Oh,
about
you're already in
those.
negotiations.
Yeah, for years down the road for the new building that's not even built yet, right? So all of those conversations are on the table.
Rachel, one thing we do every podcast is we have 3 sentences for you where we read a fill in the blank, where you have to give us the first word or phrase that comes to your mind at the end of this. Okay, so you haven't seen these ahead of time.
Okay.
All right, here's the first one. The biggest impact the current stadium has had on Nashville is blank.
I think the biggest impact the current stadium has given Nashville is a sense of community.
I like that. It was an investment that really paid off in a big way, in so many ways. The biggest change coming to the new stadium will be blank.
The biggest change coming to the new stadium will be climate control, plus a lot of others.
One thing people don't realize about what Nissan Stadium does is blank.
Don't realize that Nissan Stadium does is private events. I know that's the lens that I operate in, right? But I do think that's something that they're not necessarily the public ones that people know about. So that's how I'd answer that one.
Well, I'm excited because I know that you're not going to tell us today, but there's all sorts of stuff coming behind the scenes.
A lot of exciting things
stuff
coming in the next few years. So
yeah. Well, first off, this completes a childhood dream of mine to get to be up in the studio with the stadium in the backdrop, to have walked underneath the stadium and to experience that. I was just a young whippersnapper in the seats here behind me, and it's a really cool moment to get to be here. And thank you for all the stuff that people like you do behind the scenes. And you're not on the stage, you're not holding the microphone, but it doesn't happen without you. And I think you have done amazing things for the city in giving power to a venue that maybe was underutilized before you showed up on the scene. And I think that's a real reason why the city has been able to continue to be the place that it is. And not just the city, but the state. And I think you do a great job of articulating that this just isn't about Nashville. It's about Tennessee. And honestly, it's about Alabama and Kentucky and all kinds of people from all over the country that are just looking for a reason to fly into Nashville. So thanks for what you do. And thank you for being a guest with us here today, Rachel.
Of course. Thanks for having me. And it is not just me. There is a lot of people that work in this building and on the backside and behind the scenes and make it all happen. So it is because of a full team effort that it's successful.
Rachel Guymon, the director of special events for the Titans. It was really fun to get a little bit of a lens into what is coming in the form of a $2.2 billion project. I mean, being born and raised in Tennessee, you kind of become used to some bigger numbers coming around, like some of the big buildings that get constructed, but not figures with a B. I mean, $2.2 billion, that's amazing for the entire state. I mean, we're showing that we can handle that investment. We've earned this investment. We've been good stewards of the team. And it's really exciting about what this is going to propel, because this type of investment is one that they don't make this to be here for 10 years. This has got to pay for itself over decades worth of time. And I think we're legitimately going to get a Super Bowl. I mean, Rachel, I kind of saw her wink at us a little bit on the Super Bowl.
She's a professional. You got nothing. You got nothing. You tried, though. It was a really valiant effort.
She's got Roger Goodell's ear. She's got the commission's ear. Like, it's coming here. I'm pretty convinced.
It's right after, like, their magicians and hot air balloons and all of those types of things they can do for events. And then it's like Roger Goodell.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
On speed dial. No, I think the things I'm most excited about is, one, anything that continues to bring opportunity for people to come into Middle Tennessee and become patrons of various businesses, hotels, experience around the state. That's just a win-win for everyone here, right? It generates economic growth and development. But the other thing I'm really excited about, and I just could barely contain myself. Sometimes you just really should kick me off this podcast because I get so excited when I think about the fun things that families are going to get to do in this space. And as you and I meet with different nonprofits, and everyone's trying to raise money, right? Everyone's trying to figure out how to grow and be successful for what they're passionate about. And the opportunity that the Titan Stadium, the new Nissan Stadium, is going to have to create experiential giving, whether it be for nonprofits or experiences for families or for life milestones, et cetera. That's where I want to spend our time. That's where I want to spend our money, is in these experiences with our kids and our family and our community and the state. And I think that they're really going to be so special at making them happen. So yeah, I get excited. I get tongue-tied. It's hard to even articulate sometimes the fun that I think that it's going to bring.
Yeah, the logistics side of it too. I think it's fun to get just on our walk up here to the studio to get to walk through the guts of old Nissan Stadium and to think about, I mean, we can see it because it's under construction behind us, and the open air to see the underbelly of the new stadium. It's kind of the only time, obviously, that we'll ever get to see it. And that's impressive just from a logistics standpoint. Is it's a city under a city. It reminds me of like the subways under New York, or all of the 1, 2, 3 stories down worth of stuff. I mean, you can drive an 18-wheeler down underneath this place and there's no telling what it's going to look like.
I wonder who delivers their packages.
Yeah, that's right.
But you're right. I'm glad I wore walking shoes. Like, I'm glad. I mean, it is enormous in scope and scale. And I think when you come for a game day, you think of all your walking being from wherever you have to park to how you get in. But today we saw, I mean, you could walk miles around this place and still not visit every nook and cranny.
It's good. All right. Go Titans.